Hello everybody, I'm Jana from Sydney Visa. Today we're going to talk about skill assessment for teachers. There are a number of teaching professions on the skilled occupation list, and most of them are assessed by the Australian Institute of Teaching and School Leadership, short AITSL. Skill assessment is a critical step in your migration journey, and it is a requirement for most skilled visas, including independent skill visa, state and regional visas, nominated visas, as well as some employer-sponsored visas. So let's take a look at what requirements AITSL has for teachers. By the way, if you want to understand your eligibility for an Australian migration program and receive a personalized migration plan, I invite you to take our free visa eligibility assessment. We will assess the information and provide you with a detailed guidance of your immigration journey. The link to the assessment form can be found in the description to this video. Let's talk about teachers. The following teachers you can see on the screen are assessed by AITSL, and this is what we're going to be talking about in this video. All these occupations are assessed based on your education. This means that you need to have completed a minimum of 4-year full-time bachelor degree, which includes a relevant initial teacher education. This means that you need to have a teaching degree which would include the initial teaching component. However, you can also have a specialized degree in other areas, mathematics for example. But if that's the case, you would also need to have at least an advanced diploma level of a teaching qualification. So this is our first requirement, so the Bachelor of Teaching degree or bachelor degree in other discipline plus an advanced diploma in teaching. Also within this requirement is your major, which needs to be specific to the occupation that you are assessing. You need to have completed at least 1 year full-time or part-time equivalent of higher education level study for the specific age group or needs of the students. I will go over the age ranges for different occupations later in the video, as they obviously might differ from country to country. The second requirement for all of the above occupation is the completion of at least 45 days of supervised teaching practice. Supervised teaching practice is the compulsory component of the initial teacher education, where a student teacher is placed in a school to engage in and practice teaching with the school students. This teaching practice occurs under the supervision of a qualified teacher and university education staff, and is formally assessed by university. So this teaching practice needs to be part of your education. It is important to note here that AITSL not only accepts validations of your teaching practice from the university. So the statements signed by employer, induction certificates, teacher registration certificates or similar documents are not accepted. The supervised teaching practice statement must have, here you have on the screen, be on official university letterhead, be signed and dated by university representative, state the duration of the supervised teaching practice completed, state the age range of the students taught, and state the school settings in which the practice was completed. The third requirement is English. So if you've completed at least 4 years of full-time equivalent of your teaching study, and that includes your initial teaching education in Australia, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, UK or US, then you are exempt from providing English competency certificates. But if you've completed your study elsewhere, then you need to demonstrate quite a high level of English and IELTS score. Namely, it needs to be IELTS academic with the scores of at least 7 in both reading and writing, and score of at least 8 in speaking and listening. Let's go over the age ranges and meanings of various teaching professions, reminding you that you need to study these specializations for at least 1 year. So for the early childhood primary school teacher, so the early education is considered in Australia for children from birth to 8 years old. It's up to year 3 in Australia. Primary school teachers is ages between 5 to 12 in primary school. Middle school teachers is teaching children ages 10 to 15. Secondary school teachers, it's ages between 13 and 18. Special needs teachers, basically these are working with students with particular learning difficulties in primary, middle and secondary schools. Teacher of the hearing impaired, working with hearing impaired students, again through all the different schooling years. Teachers with sight impaired is working with sight impaired students. As I mentioned above, the skill assessment with AITSL is conducted based on the qualification only, so only based on your education. So the cost of this assessment is $860. If you wish AITSL to also provide an employment statement where they assess your employment period for the purposes of the point test, then the service is an additional cost, and it's $232. The assessment takes about 10 weeks after the submission of all documents and is valid for 2 years after it is issued. This is it for now. Please don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so you don't miss our informative videos. Please like and share the videos, and if you have any questions, I do invite you to ask them here in the comment section below. Cheers from Down Under. Goodbye.